Dr. Todd Kays, mental coach and sports psychologist. And welcome to today's mental tip, mental lesson. And we're going to talk about intuition. And one of the things about intuition in sports today is that there is a lack of it. Okay, we have advanced so much in sports in terms of technology, in terms of equipment, in terms of the fitness, in terms of the nutrition, in terms of the skill, the resources. Everything has been incredible in the last couple of decades. But one of the things that has changed, and not for the better, is less access to your gut, your intuition, your heart. Okay, even with mental training. Mental training is much bigger today than it's ever been. And mental training can get in the way. Because what I find is that athletes are thinking way too much. They practice, they're hardworking, they have high goals, but then they get in situations and they start thinking, overthinking, analyzing. And what that does is that prevents fluid movement because there's tension somewhere in the body. Whether it be your muscles, increased heart rate, because of thinking. Thinking about mechanics, thinking about outcomes, thinking about losing, thinking about getting pulled, thinking about parents, thinking about fans. Whatever the case might be, that is what takes you away from your heart, your intuition, your gut instinct. That's when you're performing your best. So many times, for example, I have basketball players who do extremely well in AAU during the summers. And they're just playing, and they describe how loose, how free, how much they just simply enjoy it. And they describe some of their best games. But then all of a sudden, when it comes to high school ball, for example, they might have some high school balls over the summer, and then certainly in season, their performance drops. Because partly they get in their heads too much. They think about what the coach wants. They think about, looking at set plays. It's not fluid. And so many times I find that AAU ball and the players, they enjoy it much more, and that's partly because, it isn't as, taxing and time consuming in certain circumstances, but there is a freedom that you play with. And why wouldn't you want that more and more? Okay, so that's just one example. When they get to the high school season, they start thinking, and some of them, some players are just simply miserable, honestly. And it's because they're thinking and they don't play as well. They get yelled at by the coach. They get worried about letting their teammates down, parents down, whatever the case might be. But again, it goes up in their thinking. Then they overthink. They overthink their shot. They don't just go with what their heart says. They don't just go see it and play. And that's one of the drawbacks, I think, to today in sports. And it happens at all levels. It happens with the professional athletes I work with all the way down to the junior athletes. It does not matter. Okay, so one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that you're making intuition a part of your practice. Okay, make it a skill, just like a mental skill, just like any other. And it's a skill that, you can do very simple things. One being simply making an intention before every practice or every game, whatever your sport, that you're going to really focus on allowing your intuition to take over. Okay? That will build your awareness of what it feels like, the experience in your heart of what that feels like to be using your intuition. And the more familiar you get with it, the better you're going to get. Okay? The other thing you can do is after you practice is always take some time to play. Take some time to perform. So again, you might have practiced, you might be thinking in your head about mechanics, about your shot, about, your skating, whatever the case might be, whatever sport you're playing, but then always end practice where you're just playing. Whether that be, just some exhibition, against some teammates, whatever it might be. But what that's going to allow you to do is get out of your head and into your body. It's going to allow you to get out of your thinking into your heart, into your gut instinct, into your intuition, okay? Which is what we need more of. And it's the reason that many athletes simply don't perform to their skill level is because they are just a little bit, they're overthinking. And so if you just make sure that every time you have practice, after practice, end it with just playing. And feel that looseness, feel that heart, feel that experience. A lot of times when I ask athletes, I don't ask them so much what they're thinking as what they're experiencing, because I want you guys to be able to pay attention to everything. And there's so many great answers. So many great decisions are made here, not up here. Okay? When we perform our best, we're not up here, we're down here. So be intentional about it. Play after practice to build your skill at using your gut, using your intuition, and it'll be a lot more fun. And it will be, it'll get better over and over the more you do it. And it's as simple as that. This is Dr. Todd Case. I'll see you next time.